Guys, it's been no surprise to a lot of people now how far GameStop has fallen over the past few years, and I've recently had an encounter, issue, or whatever with the store that I wanted to share with you guys and actually open up the floor to discussion, because I think I had a video a few months ago talking about how I thought that GameStop here pretty soon was going to be no more. And I recently did a video talking about the physical versus digital, discussion, debate, and everything going on. And a lot of your comments had something to do about GameStop. So in that video, I talked about how my Walmart recently has basically gotten rid of their video game section. They're still holding on a little bit with DVDs and Blu-rays and CDs and vinyl for some dumb reason. I'm not saying dumb as in it's stupid, but I don't know why that's still in stock. I'm not saying vinyl in general is stupid, but it's weird to me that they keep stocking that but not video games. But like a lot of people have said that GameStop, if for some of you that don't know, if you're younger or something like that, used to be the place to go to get games. Like I remember being, in high school and stuff like that, which is about 20 years ago now, and going down there with bags full of my old games to trade in to get a couple new games. The environment there was really awesome. It was really cool. Like you'd walk in there and there's just games all over the place. It was like one of the few places that you could actually buy pop culture items and stuff like that. Besides, obviously a Hot Topic and Spencer's Gifts in the mall. And I just remember, I just remember games all over the place. Going in there with, like $100 for my birthday or whatever, and just spending like an hour in there. My mom getting impatient with me, everybody wanting to leave, but I had that $100 and I had to pick, the right games to get. And over the past 10 to 15 years, I've noticed how far the store has come down. Now, I know I've talked about how I thought maybe in 2023 the stores were going to all close down with the way things were going, but my thought on that has changed. I know within the next few years, the stores themselves, I believe, are going to be gone. I recently was forced to purchase Baldur's Gate 3 digitally. I wanted to get a physical copy, but I found out that Japan is the only ones with physical copies. So then that made me think too is, if all these games become digital, how is GameStop going to compete with that stuff? They used to thrive on the business of buying games from you cheap and then reselling at an upcharge, kind of like a physical store DK Oldies. And if they can't buy games from you anymore, what's going to happen? And honestly, that's kind of what's going on right now, I believe. So I went to, this is the story that I went to, or I'm going to talk about. I recently went to a GameStop in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. You guys are familiar with the Midwest. Pretty decent sized, city and stuff like that. Well, at one point in Sioux City and Sioux Falls, there was like 3 to 4 GameStops. You could almost throw a rock from one GameStop and hit another GameStop. It was crazy. There were so many all over the place. And I've noticed them dwindling down. Now in the mall in Sioux City anymore, they don't even have the GameStop there. I think they only have one or two stores maybe left in Sioux City. And like I said, they once had like 3, 4, even 5 stores, I think. And I went to the one in the Sioux Falls. And when I got in there, I just was like sad, guys. They had bargain bins everywhere with video game stuff in there that wasn't very good stuff, and it wasn't marked down very good. But it seemed like all they had for games was AAA titles, new or newer games, like games that just came out, used for $5 less than if you'd buy it for new. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, this is how it's been for a while now. But they didn't even have some of the newer games that had recently came out there. Because I was looking through all their stock. And their Nintendo Switch collection, or games that they were selling there, was ridiculously low. And they were still selling Mario Aces for like $60. Mario Golf and stuff like that for like $60. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Even Walmart, I think, has these marked down at least $50, but you can buy all this stuff used on Mercari and eBay and stuff for like $20 to $30. So why are they still out charging this? About the only thing cool that I found still there was I picked up a Majora's Mask poster for like $10, and I loved it. It looked really cool and stuff like that. So that was what I really went for. But I'm looking at the PS5 games. They really didn't have much. The PS4 games were gone. There was down to maybe a few of those, and the same with Xbox One. They had some Series X games, but not much. And then they barely even had any Xbox One games. And I was talking to the guy behind the counter because I've been looking for a spare Nintendo Switch dock because I wanted to put a dock down in the game room, and that way I can have one for down here, and then we can have one for upstairs in the living room. So when my son Anakin plays, he can play it upstairs and everything like that. And then when I finally get Tears of the Kingdom, I can keep it all down here so he can't mess with my saves and stuff. But I was just like, I was talking to the guy, and I'm like, do you guys what's going on here? And he basically just told me, he says it's been hard. He says not only is it hard to keep employees because they don't pay much, and then that they're really strict on like breaks and lunches and stuff like that. They're really strict on all that stuff. They don't pay much, and they're really hard on their employees. He said that personally, the store that he worked in now wasn't that bad, but yeah, he just said that a few of the other ones that he's seen has been horrible. And I've looked up news articles, I looked at reports, and for a while there, it was nobody liked working at GameStop, guys. Even though it sounded like it'd be the dream job, a lot of people didn't like working at them. But I also was asking him, like, well, I'm looking for a Switch dock so I can, do that. And he said, well, let me look in the back. And he came forward and he said, all we have is new Switches. And he said, he quite frankly looked me dead in the eyes and he said, you're better off going to Best Buy, dude, for everything games. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yes. He's like, it's hard to say, but you're better off going to Gamestop or Best Buy for if you want to try and get a new Switch dock and stuff like that. He's like, we don't have very much stock here, and stuff like that. So then I was looking more into it, and ever since COVID hit in 2020, GameStop has closed a ton of physical stores. They can't keep them open because there was no point. They were losing money all the time, and they weren't able to get them going. But the other thing, too, is, like I said, the rise of the digital era where every game is coming out as digitally. And like I said, GameStop was making their money off buying games from you cheap and then reselling them from a premium price. And if they can't buy any games from you anymore, how are they going to... That's their main gain, that's... Pun intended, that's how their business runs. You can't buy a digital game from somebody. So they would then just be focused on trying to sell consoles and stuff like that. And you can go anywhere and buy a console, and yeah, it's not even worth it. It's just crazy to think that, but I looked at their online store. Their online store is thriving, of course, because everybody loves to buy stuff online nowadays. And they offer more stuff, obviously, on the website. I think they even got retro games. They got walkthroughs. They got more pop culture items. They got stuff for your game room. They got every kind of game you want. And I believe that coming down the road, GameStop physical stores will definitely be closing down. I don't know if it'll be in the next year or so. It might be longer down the road. But it won't be long now. And their stores, I think, will be knocked in half. And then before you know it, they're going to be mostly like I would like to say DK Oldie's Big Brother, where they'll have only the online game going. They'll sell everything online. They'll have great deals and stuff like that. Because they, for the most part, did offer some decent deals if you remember with GameStop. But, a lot of times if you wanted to buy a brand new game, you paid the normal price, and then they would try to sell you a used copy of a newish game for like $5 less than the new game and try and trick you into buying those. But they for the most part had decent deals, because I remember going in there, and doing the buy two used get one free or buy two get two free, used games, and grabbing some awesome games doing that. But I honestly think that here coming up in the future, we will now no longer see physical GameStop stores. They will kind of be wiped off the map, and I believe that they will focus mainly on their online sales. And I think that's kind of what's going to be going on now. You guys can go ahead and check out their website and see how great the website runs and stuff like that. And I wish I had a picture of how pitiful that GameStop was in that mall, because it was bad, guys. Like, we walked in there and I just did not, it really makes me sad, because like I said, I remember growing up, junior high school, being a kid and stuff like that, going in there and just being like, there were so many games, so many used games and some great deals. And I remember even becoming a member and being so happy to get the Game Informer magazines and and then now it's just pitiful. It just, yeah, it's just one of those things that, you know, when you get older, you look at the stuff and you really miss your stuff from your childhood. But I want to know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that here in a few years that these GameStop stores physically will be closing and they will primarily focus on their online presence? Or do you think that I'm just getting ahead of myself and that really they're not doing too bad? I know that last time I did this, a lot of people called me out for not doing more research on this. And I live in the Midwest, guys. The only research I can really do is with my own eyes. I'm not gonna scour the internet trying to find, you know, Forbes reports on the business and figure out the stock stuff, because that is not my specialties. That's your guys' specialties if you're into stocks and stuff like that. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that this is gonna happen? Is GameStop gonna close down the road? Do you think it's better off going to Best Buy or what, guys? I want to thank you guys all for that comment on my last video talking about the physical versus digital war, and bringing up the fact that GameStop, you know, has been really bad with stuff. You can't even go in there and buy anything anymore because they don't even have stuff in stock. Like I said, I had 5, 6, 7 subscribers comment about the physical games disappearing slowly from their local GameStop. So comment below what you guys think, and as always, thank you for watching. Stay retro, my friends, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Have a good day.